Hello, and welcome to the Get Lean and Eat Clean podcast. My name is Brian Grin. I'm a certified health coach, trainer, and author. And this podcast is for middle-aged men and women looking to optimize their health and get their bodies back to what it once was 10 to 15 years ago. I will give you simple, actionable items to get long-term sustainable results. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show. All right, welcome to the Get Lean, Eat Clean podcast. My name is Brian Grin. Hope you had a great weekend, spent it with some family and friends, and hopefully you listened to my interview with Rob Wolf. This was the second time I've had him on the podcast, and always enjoy my conversation with Rob. You know, he's been in the health game for a long time, sort of started the whole paleo movement, and so we discussed all about, different health markers. We talked about HRV, which is heart rate variability. We also evaluated some of my blood work, which, speaking of that, I'm getting that done on Wednesday. So we'll see how it looks after Wednesday, and I'll give you an update. Also, we touched on the importance of electrolytes, and he has the company LMNT, and it's a brilliant idea. He's selling salt, quality salt, but most people are chronically dehydrated, including myself and my wife. You're sweating out these minerals on a day-to-day basis, and you're not taking them in. So you got to add this to your water, or like for me, I've enjoyed their chocolate salt, where I actually add that to my like a cold brew, or just like a iced coffee as a pre-workout, and that's been my pre-workout for a while now. So really enjoy that product. They actually became affiliate, so there is an affiliate link on the show notes, and I'll be putting them on the next, on the upcoming episodes as well. So you can get, if you do try it out, you get a free variety pack. So a little gift for you for trying it out. And I'm a big fan. I wouldn't put them in there if I didn't think it was a worthwhile product and something that I enjoy myself. So really enjoy that. And so, yeah, check out my interview with Rob. And today, for the micro podcast, I wanted to touch on, if you listen to any of my interviews with like Dr. Don Layman, who we touched all about protein, and we talked about it with Dr. Bill Campbell as well, it comes up as sort of a good quality of protein. And then we talk about this thermic effect of food. And, the question comes up, well, what has the highest thermic effect? Is it carbs, protein, or fat? Well, if you guess protein, you're right, and that's why a lot of people like to, one of the reasons why people say, prioritizing protein is so important. And this is obviously one of the reasons. And just to let you know what thermic effect means, it's your body's ability to digest, absorb, metabolize, and store that food. And so the thermic effect can represent up to 10% of your caloric intake of healthy adults. So essentially, there's this energy required to digest a macronutrient, fat, carb, or protein. And it's a certain percentage of the energy provided by that macronutrient. So, for example, fat provides 9 calories per gram. And its thermic effect, so the amount of energy it takes to digest that, is just 0 to 3%. So a very small amount of energy it takes to digest fat. Carbohydrates is 4 calories per gram, and its thermic effect is 5 to 10%. And then protein provides 4 calories per gram, and its thermic effect is anywhere from 20 to 30%. So this is quite a big difference. And that's why a lot of people, say, well, protein is great for a lot of reasons: satiety, building muscle, and also a high thermic effect, because it takes a lot of energy to actually digest it. And so, on that note, if you think about your resting metabolic rate, your RMR, this is the amount of energy used when your body's at rest. So if you lay down all day, how many calories would your body use if you were just not doing anything? And that's your resting metabolic rate. So your thermic, the TEF, which is your thermic effect of food, is related to this measure because it refers to an increase in resting metabolic rate after the consumption of food. So it's almost like you're burning energy just from eating a certain food type. And so that's why a lot of people love protein. Now, I think it's important to understand this. Do I think it's like the end all? No, I think it's like a cool sort of effect of, what happens when you're eating certain foods. We always talk about prioritizing protein. And so all I'll say with that is if you think about it this way, the thermic effect of food contributes to your overall energy expenditure when you're consuming food. So you're using up some of your stored energy reserves in order to break down that food into its parts. And the more calories used in this process, the greater the potential for fat loss over time. So it can contribute and help with fat loss, obviously. And so, like mentioned before, certain foods require more energy to be broken down than others. And like I said, fat is about 2%, carbs is about 8%, and protein's a whopping 25%. So I'll just give you an example just to clarify it a little bit more. If you ate 100 calories of fat, 100 calories of fat, and you have to digest, catabolize it, absorb it, transport the fat, you're using about 2 calories to do that. If you had 100 calories of protein, this process would take the digesting, the absorbing, the transporting. This will take about 25 calories. So you're using energy just to eat the food. What couldn't be better than that, right? So this is part of the reason why it's also difficult to overeat protein as compared to easily overeat carbs and fat. So prioritize protein. This is just one other reason why this thermic effect of food, and it can play a role in helping you reach your weight loss goals. It's not the end all, but I just think it's something to be aware of, and is one of the reasons why people always talk about protein in that manner. So that's all I wanted to touch on today, the thermic effect of food. If you have questions, email me, brian@briangrin.com. I do have a book coming out. It's taking a little bit longer than normal, but hopefully in the new year, it'll be out and about, and I look forward to sharing that with you. So anyways, have a great rest of the week, and I will talk to you on Friday. Thanks for listening to the Get Lean, Eat Clean podcast. I understand there are millions of other podcasts out there, and you've chosen to listen to mine, and I appreciate that. Check out the show notes at briangrin.com for everything that was mentioned in this episode. Feel free to subscribe to the podcast and share it with a friend or family member that's looking to get their body back to what it once was. Thanks again, and have a great day.